devil is out there roaring. He's looking for somebody to devour. It's not wrong for a wife to pitch into the budget of the home. It's not even wrong for a wife to take care of his husband. No, normalizing women also pitching into the homes.
Life is full of trials, a journey full of experience. With God on your side, all will be alright.
Welcome guys, welcome. So today I'm joining you guys, or you are joining me from my dining room, okay? So yeah, welcome again to Hopeful Stories. And yes, today I'm here again with another sad story. Well, it's a sad story. There's a woman from Zimbabwe who actually committed suicide, and she left a suicidal note, right? This is a story that trended like a few weeks ago, and I just stumbled onto it, and I'm like, it's so sad. Realities of COVID-19 and also of certain marriage mishaps and squabbles that happen in marriage is just somehow, guys. So she wrote a note. I'm just going to read the suicidal note to you, and unfortunately it's written in Shona, but let me rather just interpret it to you. So what she was saying, she wrote this note addressing to the husband, and she was telling the husband that I cannot be living with a husband who tells me every day that I'm too old for him, that I'm of no help, and the person who cannot work for his family. So the context of this is that the husband is being accused by the deceased, the lady who committed suicide, that she cannot be staying with a man that has not been working for so long and cannot provide for the family. So she then said, I'd rather take my life. I will miss you. I'm going, and I'll definitely miss you. We'll meet in heaven. And then she goes on to put a small little will, kind of. She says all her clothes should be given to so and so, and the phone is so and so's, and she also even spoke about a blow dryer. She said, okay, this blow dryer is supposed to be given to somebody else. So the people who posted actually blocked out the people's names. So on the post, on this post, there were a lot of things that were posted on there, the pictures. So I'm just going to turn this around, guys, so that you can see. So on this post, I'm going to block the lady, but as you can see, there is like the suicidal note, and this is the picture of the suicide where the crime happened, and also this is the lady. So I don't know what this world has come to, but what made me come and address this is because of the responses. The responses that people were writing on this post on Facebook. I was even asking myself, what has this world come to? Is this something that people can actually say? Okay, so a lot of people were talking about mental illness, and a lot of people said, okay, depression is a real thing. People need to get help. And then you had some people who were saying, with the way life is so nice and enjoyable, and life is full of nice things, how can I just take my life? I will not even contemplate taking suicide. It's not something that can even come to my mind. And then this one particular point or response caught my attention. And it's from a sister that I know. I'm not going to show you who it is. She said this woman had the dependency syndrome. This is what this comment said. This woman who committed suicide had a dependency syndrome, a syndrome of, or rather an attitude of saying, my husband should do things for me. He must. So she was too dependent, and that's her fault that she was too dependent, which led her to committing suicide. I don't want to comment on that, but I just want to speak my mind on this, guys. The dependency syndrome, yeah, it's there. We do have wives who are very much dependent on the husband, just like any other family. Every family should be dependent on the husband. Is that not normal? It is. But then the problem is in the context of this response, or in the context of this lady, she complained that the husband was not working, which I feel like nowadays there is so much of the message that amounts so much pressure on husbands to provide, even if they are failing to provide, which does not prepare young women or wives to become, to come into the gap of also providing, to also help the family with providing, things in the house, pitching into the grocery. Why? Because women have been soaked, have been actually been given reasons to not consider providing. That's what I want to talk about today. It's not wrong for a wife to pitch into the budget of the home. It's not even wrong for a wife to take care of his husband. Yes, I've said it. It's not even wrong for a wife to be a provider for a certain season in the home. Why? Because God has positioned you as a helpmate. A helpmate means you can even help your husband financially, you can even help your husband emotionally, but also if it then happens that your husband has lost a job, you are in a better position to bring the rent money, to bring food money, or to even help the progress of the home, the progress of the vision. You are obliged to do that. You don't have to find a problem doing so. I feel like there isn't too many teachings around normalizing women also pitching into the homes without any bad attitude attached to it, without overly being dominant over your husband. There is a way, there is a possibility, it is actually doable that you can go ahead and be the one who is more financially, equipped than your husband, and still be able to pitch in, and your home functions very well. What am I saying? Okay. As a young woman who's getting married, or as a young woman who's in the early days of marriage, if your husband loses a job, and you are fortunate enough to be the one who has a job that can sustain the home, you must be happy and be thankful to God that that is something that God has given you as an opportunity to rescue your husband, to rescue the ego of your husband, to also rescue your home when your husband is failing to provide. The reason why, I feel like one of the reasons why this lady went on to commit suicide is because society has it that a woman should provide, such that women have had that dependency of saying my husband must provide. So in the moment that your husband doesn't provide for 3, 4, 5 years, it becomes more of a burden to you. Also, maybe it's because of how the men treat you. Now, it's another discussion for another day, discussing about husbands not being in the providing position for a season. We know it's something that they have to also advance or equip themselves to, but also women, I feel like women need to accept that you can still put food on the table and find nothing wrong, because this is your husband, and still be emotionally well, and still be physically well, and still progress.